Did you know that the average American household has nearly $90,000 in debt? Or that 60% of people live paycheck to paycheck, even with a decent income? It's no surprise that many are struggling financially. But here's the thing, you don't have to be rich to live well. In fact, the key to financial freedom often lies in how little you spend, not how much you earn. Frugality isn't about living like you're broke. It's about being smart with your money and making choices that align with your values. Imagine saving hundreds of dollars every month, buying things you actually need, and still enjoying life to the fullest. Sounds impossible? It's not. In this video, we'll dive into practical, simple, and even fun ways to make frugality a lifestyle. From understanding why you spend to finding treasures at thrift stores and cooking amazing meals on a budget, we'll give you the tools to start living smarter. Ready to get started? Let's explore how to make frugality work for you. Chapter 1. Frugality 101. The psychology of spending less. Adopting frugality starts with understanding the psychology behind why we spend. Did you know that humans are wired to find pleasure in buying things? In fact, a study from the Journal of Consumer Research found that making purchases triggers the same areas of the brain that respond to food and sex. This is called retail therapy, and it's a natural impulse. But here's the twist. When you reframe your thoughts, spending less can become just as pleasurable. Studies show that people who focus on experiences rather than material goods are happier over time. To start your frugal journey, take a step back and evaluate your emotional triggers for spending. Are you bored, stressed, or trying to keep up with the latest trends? Recognizing these triggers helps curb impulse buys. Another great strategy is to create a needs versus wants list. The more you distinguish between essential purchases and those you just want, the better you'll be at resisting temptation. Behavioral experts say this can reduce impulsive spending by up to 50%. Also, challenge the idea that spending money equals happiness. Researchers at Princeton University found that people who make $75,000 or more don't experience a significant increase in happiness. So, the idea that buying more will make you happier might be a myth. Instead, try focusing on what really brings you joy, like spending time with loved ones or pursuing hobbies. This simple mental shift can lead to lasting frugality. Chapter 2. Minimalism meets wallet. Simplify to amplify savings. Frugality and minimalism go hand in hand. A minimalist mindset means less stuff, fewer distractions, and more savings. It might sound extreme, but studies show that the average American home contains 300,000 items. That's a lot of clutter. Simplifying your life not only reduces stress but also cuts down on unnecessary spending. Start by decluttering your space. When you let go of things you no longer need, you're less likely to impulse buy in the future. Did you know that the average person spends $1,500 a year on things they don't use? Think about that. What could you do with that extra cash? Minimalism helps you focus on experiences and relationships, which add more value to your life than material possessions. Try applying the one in, one out rule. For every new item you bring into your home, get rid of something old. This forces you to be intentional with your purchases. Also, ask yourself, do I really need this, or is it just a temporary desire? By being more mindful, you'll save money and create more space in your life. Another minimalist trick? Buy quality over quantity. It's tempting to buy cheap, disposable items, but they often cost you more in the long run. According to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, buying high-quality goods that last longer can save up to 20% over time. Chapter 3. The art of budgeting like a boss. Without the spreadsheet, budgeting doesn't have to mean drowning in spreadsheets and endless calculations. In fact, research shows that 60% of people feel overwhelmed by traditional budgeting methods. That's why simplifying your approach is key. One great method is the 50-30-20 rule. Allocate 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings. This simple framework makes budgeting less intimidating. If you want something even easier, try the envelope system. You set aside cash for specific categories, like groceries, entertainment, or dining out, and use only that money for those expenses. When it's gone, it's gone. The visual aspect of this system makes it easier to stick to your goals. Another smart strategy is to track your spending habits. Studies show that people who track their spending save an average of 15% more than those who don't. Start by keeping a journal or using an app to record every purchase. You might be surprised at how quickly small expenses add up. Lastly, automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers into a savings account as soon as you get paid. Research from the American Bankers Association shows that automation leads to more consistent savings habits. By removing the temptation to spend that money, you'll effortlessly build your savings over time. If you're enjoying these tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay updated for more ways to live frugally. Chapter 4. Thrift Store Treasure Hunts. Score big on secondhand goods. Thrift stores are a goldmine for frugal living. The idea of buying secondhand might feel a little unfamiliar, but once you get the hang of it, it's a game changer. In fact, Americans spend nearly $18 billion on thrift store purchases annually, and that number keeps rising. The hidden gems in thrift stores can save you up to 80% compared to buying new. Start by setting a budget before you hit the store. Without a plan, it's easy to go overboard. Look for quality items. Leather jackets, quality shoes, and designer brands are often found for a fraction of the price. One trick to scoring big is to visit during off hours, like weekdays, when stores are less crowded, and you'll find better deals. Many thrift stores also have seasonal sales, so keep an eye out for those. You can often snag winter coats or summer gear at a fraction of the cost. Don't forget to check online platforms like Poshmark or ThredUp, where you can shop secondhand from the comfort of your home. These platforms have exploded in popularity, with Poshmark seeing a 25% increase in sales in the last year alone. Thrift shopping isn't just about saving money, it's also an eco-friendly choice. By buying secondhand, you're reducing waste and contributing to a more sustainable lifestyle. You're also participating in the circular economy, where items are reused and given a second life. Chapter 5. Life Hacks for Frugal Foodies. Dine deliciously on a dime. Eating well on a budget isn't as hard as it seems. In fact, the average American spends around $3,000 a year on dining out. By cooking at home, you can cut that expense by 50% or more. The key to frugal eating is meal planning. Studies show that people who plan their meals save up to $300 a month on groceries. Start by batch cooking. Preparing meals in bulk saves both time and money. You can freeze leftovers, which cuts down on food waste. If you find yourself with ingredients you might not use, get creative. Research shows that people who get creative with leftovers save up to 20% more on their grocery bills. Another trick is to buy in-season produce. Seasonal fruits and vegetables are cheaper because they're more abundant. According to the USDA, you can save up to 40% on your grocery bill by choosing in-season items. Keep an eye out for sales and stock up on essentials when they're discounted. Finally, try growing your own food. Even if you don't have a garden, herbs and small vegetables can be grown in containers on your windowsill. Not only is this an incredibly frugal way to eat fresh, but it also brings joy and satisfaction. People who grow their own food can save hundreds of dollars annually. Chapter 6. The Social Side of Frugality. Fun without the FOMO. Being frugal doesn't mean missing out on fun. In fact, there are tons of ways to enjoy life without spending a fortune. A survey by Eventbrite found that 61% of people prefer socializing through low-cost or free activities. This could be anything from a picnic in the park to a movie night at home with friends. One frugal trick is to host potlucks instead of dining out. Not only will everyone save money, but it also adds a personal touch to the gathering. According to a study from the National Restaurant Association, the average cost of a meal out is about $25 per person. That's a lot when you multiply it by several people. Another great way to have fun on a budget is to take advantage of free events in your community. Many cities offer free concerts, museum days, and festivals. Check out local event calendars to see what's available in your area. If you love to travel but can't afford to go far, try a staycation. Explore your own city like a tourist, and you'll be surprised at how many hidden gems you've overlooked. Studies show that people who take staycations are just as happy as those who travel abroad. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe. Keep learning more about how to live frugally and smartly in upcoming videos.